Morning, Year 8. Today we're going to try something a little bit different. You will have learnt so far a little bit about pressure, so you will have measured how much pressure your feet exert on the floor. Hopefully you've also done some dog that I assigned you to do all about pressure. It included some more work on the pressure calculations, plus it also touched on gas pressure and pressure in liquids. So today what you are going to do is you are going to do a virtual experiment into gas pressure. Now, hopefully, what you've done is you've followed the instructions on Edmodo and you'll already have open this document. Okay, because this kind of explains what you are going to do. Now, as you do the experiment, you can either make a note on a little bit of paper of your results, or if you've got access to Word, you've opened up the Word version of this document and you can fill your results in your Word documents. But if you don't have access to Word, it's okay, just open up the PDF. Now, what you are going to try and do from today's virtual experiment is you are going to try and find out why putting more air in a tyre makes it firmer or harder. You probably know, especially if you've got a bicycle, that as you pump air into your tyres, they get harder. But why? Now, to investigate this, you're going to need to follow that other link that I sent you on Edmodo to this website. And what you'll, when you follow that link, this is what you'll get. It will say gases intro, and you'll have two options. One that says intro and one that says laws. I want you, please, to click on intro. And when you do that, this is an air pump. And as you pump, you'll notice that you're putting air particles into this area. Okay, you've got some other things. You've got a pressure gauge here. Now, if you click this little down arrow here, you'll notice that you can change the units. Can you please make sure that you have it set to kPa? That stands for kilopascals. That's going to be the units that we are going to measure the pressure in. Other things that you can do, you can change how hot or cold this container is, but we're not going to be changing that. You can change the width and the size of your container, but we're not going to be doing that. There's also a stopwatch, okay, that we've got over here. We're not going to worry too much about that. So you can change the particles that you're putting, the sort of gas particles that you're putting into the container. We're not going to change any of that. Okay, the thing that you are going to need, however, is this thing called a collision counter. So put a little click into that and you'll have this little box appear here. Now, if you want to reset your experiment at any time, if you click this little button here, what it will do is it will empty out all the air particles that you've already put into your container. If you get lost at any time or there's anything that you don't understand, I've also uploaded for you this little sheet that explains some of the things and some of the controls that you've got. It is a little bit complicated, but it's only if you kind of get really, really lost. Anyway, what you are going to need to do, make sure you've got the wall collisions turned on. If we go back to our worksheet, you'll notice that you've got this in the first column that's titled number of pumps. What that refers to is how many times you are going to pump up and down on the air pump here. So that's one pump. That's a second pump. Okay. Pressure, that's the reading that you get over here. And remember, make sure you've got the units set to kilopascals. The third column is this one here, titled wall collisions. Now, you will air particles or air molecules into that container. They all start whizzing around, just like how you've learnt a gas behaves in previous topics. You'll notice that as they're whizzing around, some of them are bashing into the sides of that container. Okay. Now over here, this little box that you've hopefully have switched on, called wall collisions, you'll notice that you can change what's known as the sample period, and you've got 5, 10 or 20. I want you to set that to 20. Okay, don't worry about what the units mean. The PS stands for something called picoseconds. Why they've chosen picoseconds, I've got no idea. It's just really confusing. But anyway, and make sure that you've got it set to 20 here. Okay, I've put 1 pump of air in. I've got my pressure. If you press the little green triangle here, what it will do is it will measure how many times air pumps have collided with the walls of the container in that sample period, in that 20 picoseconds. What you can then do in your table is you can fill in what the pressure was, how many wall collisions there were. Okay, so that's going to add a second pump of air. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing again. Click the little arrow. I've got the pressure over here. Tells me the number of wall collisions over here. Okay, so you work your way through, and you're going to go 10 pumps, recording the pressure, recording the wall collisions. I would like you then to consider, please, these 4 questions as a conclusion. So, number 1, as you increase the number of pumps, what happened to the number of gas particles inside that container? Okay, this you can just judge by eye. Second question, as you increase the number of pumps, what happened to the pressure inside the container? As you increase the number of pumps, what happened to the number of wall collisions? And when you've done those, try and explain this one. Explain why a tyre gets firmer as you put more air into it. It would be great if you could post me your findings. That would be absolutely fantastic. Any questions that you've got, post me. I'll check Edmodo from time to time throughout the day. So if there's anything you don't understand, just send me a question and ask. But hopefully that kind of explains what it is I would like you to do today. Anyway, have fun with it. Good luck, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!